Welcome to Not Your Man's Sports Podcast.
The podcast where two long distance besties spill the tea on game day drama, fantasy football, and everything in between. I'm Andrea.
And I am Ashley, and we realize that a lot of people listening might not actually know who we are. So, Andrea, today we have a mini little icebreaker just to have some fun at the beginning of this week. So,
Oh
first
man.
things first. We have three questions. I'm going to ask you the question, and then you will answer it. I will also answer it, and we'll go back and forth like that for all three questions. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Perfect. Okay.
Nervous but ready.
Question number one. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Ooh. I wanted to be a veterinarian, actually. I really love dogs. And I had like an obsession with dogs. I had a lot of dog stuffed animals. I really wanted to be a veterinarian or just grow up to own a dog.
Oh, well, I think you would have been a great veterinarian, but you are also a great dog mom. So, love you, lady.
So I know. R.I.P. lady. You're the best. All right, back to you. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Please hold the laughter, but I wanted to be a choreograph dancer, like artist dancer. So when we grew up, it was
Oh
like
my God.
the pop, like the boy bands, the Britney Spears, the Christina Aguilera. Like I wanted to be a dancer. And I know everyone did it too, where they like choreographed dances for their families. But I was like the bully who I choreographed the dances and made all of the neighbor kids join. And we performed to like literally the whole neighborhood. So that's what I wanted to be.
I'm obsessed, and it's so 90s of you. But
So
also, I think it's actually just girlhood. Maybe not even 90s. I think it's just peak girlhood.
yeah, because I would totally
That's
choreograph a dance for us right now, to be honest.
okay.
So
Honestly, I'd be here for it.
we'll do it. We'll do it another day.
And I feel like you just like started in elementary school where you had like the Backstreet Boys and like insane or yeah, like tapes where you just on Christine just following their dance moves, and then like it moved into, at least in my high school, is doing cheer and like doing the whole step. I did not a cheerleader, guys. So
I was
I
too tall
was
to be a
I did dance.
cheerleader, so
Really?
they're all a little bit. I'm 6 feet, so like they're all a bit shorter than me, and I've been 6 feet since seventh grade. So there's there's some of my childhood wounds coming out, but what can you do?
I had the opposite. I was just too short. I wanted to be a volleyball player,
We
and I was
needed
too
to be in
short.
between for both of us. Okay, so
Now I just have, oh, I was to say, now I just have the thing where everyone's so much taller than me. So like if I run next to people, I take like extra strides and steps when they're like walking and they're like, Andrew's starting to jog already. I'm like, my legs are small.
I'm just keeping up.
Just keeping up.
So.
Okay. So if you played football, what would your position be?
So, I mean, ideally, I would love to be like, the wide receiver, somebody who gets like all of like the clout, or even like a safety would be like super fun. However, realistically, I would probably be a tight end. I think that's just like the build I am is like a tight end. So, maybe a linebacker. It's one of those two. So, what about you?
Probably a punter.
Oh,
What's the least where
specialty.
you just need special teams? Just bring me out to either catch and just do one run. I was like, I'm a bring me out for one or two things. Yeah, special teams.
You know what? They don't get a lot of notice, but they wouldn't be a team without the punter or anybody on
So
special teams, to be honest.
I was like, where would it? I was like, I know I'm not great at a lot of things. So where can I just go and be in my own unique bubble? Maybe practice squad.
You know, that's always a good spot to be too.
Someone has to teach the rookies practice squad.
For those who can't, they teach or whatever the saying is. I don't know.
They
Whatever.
can't do, they teach. Yeah, that's probably me.
That's the one I.
I know. I wish I could say quarterback or something, but I know. I just know.
Yeah, we're being honest with ourselves. We want the clout, but we
Yeah.
also like, let's not. Let's bring it
Yeah.
back. So, okay, last question. Obviously, we love fantasy football. We love sports, but outside of the sports world, what is your hobby that maybe a lot of people don't know about?
Ooh, I feel like everybody about me, everyone who knows me knows this. Anything really outdoors and like fitness adjacent. So just like hiking, running. I teach solid core. I love Pilates reformer classes. Um, Anything with dogs. Well, I guess that carries over from childhood. Anything with dogs. Um, yeah, and honestly, I think as I've gotten older, baking and just sitting on the couch and just like having a moment to shut off. I feel like that is my new hobby of like, just let me have a moment to like shut off my brain, whether it's like a book or something, just like a brain shut off. Have you ever walked the dog without like anything in your ears, just like taking in the sights of like what's around and just kind of like reshutting, like shutting down your brain and only paying attention to like you and the pup?
I mean, I know I should because my nervous system is like definitely a mess. But no, I usually have at least like a podcast or like
Mhm.
music going. So it's something that I want to work on, but yeah, I have not done that.
And I usually have like always my AirPods in because I'm always like, do not bother me.
Hmm.
Been in too many big cities, do not bother me. But like, let me have like, if I need a moment to just like take in the surroundings, I like
Yeah.
a nice surrounding moment.
All right, so my hobby, what's weird is like I made my hobby into a career. So for the longest time, so I work in nutrition and fitness, and for the longest time, like I didn't have any hobbies. Like I couldn't like point to any one thing that was like my hobby because like it just was like work for me. So it's taken me a long time to get here, but reading is definitely my hobby. I love to read. I am a book nerd. And then I love music as well as like movies, specifically horror movies, which is fitting because today is the first day of fall. So I do love horror movies, though I will watch them like all year round. So I'd say those are my hobbies outside of my career and sports in general.
But it's so nice to be able to turn a career, like something you enjoy into a career. I don't know if that takes away any of the enjoyment, but like it makes you want to show up at work. Maybe a
Yeah.
little bit more than like corporate America.
I think because, well, so I own a business, so that's a little bit different than like showing up and being told what to do. So there's like that difference, but also, I mean, I guess I did fall out of love of like a lot of my fitness journey, etc. I fell out of love like with it over the years, but you just have to find different ways of why you're doing it and like what you're doing and stuff. So it is nice that I have such a huge passion for what I do. But then, like, it also can't be your hobby, which was very hard for me. Like, nobody was talking about that. Nobody told me about that. And then, like, I did it and I was like, oh, like, I don't want to be thinking about like nutrition and fitness all the time because, like,
24/7.
yeah, because then I feel like I'm working too, which is like good because I love what I do. But, like, you gotta like turn off. Like,
You
you gotta,
have to be able to like separate the two of like what piece of it do I enjoy, what piece is like working.
yeah.
And then obviously we go to all the concerts together. So music is always such like a nice like relaxation point, I think, for like both of us.
Also, music is better when we're together.
I do believe a famous artist once said that.
So, anyways, how to throw that out. So, anyways, so this week, let's talk a little bit about what went down in our league. Would you?
Yes,
Because
league
we've,
talk.
it's been like, I mean, we're on week three, right? So at the end of week
Yeah.
three, and it's our league has been quiet. Like you and I were like, it's notably quiet from some of the people in our league, which is not
And it is not normal in the slightest because our league is full of people with very like strong personalities. And so having them all of a sudden go silent. I'm like, are they okay? Do we need to do like a wellness check on this group? Week three, whatever was going on, they all appeared again and in full force too.
And we're specifically going to talk about our keeper league, not our redraft league for this one, because this is the league where we know people. Well, I mean, I think we know most people in our other one, but this one we've all been together for this is our fourth year, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
our
been a
fourth year.
little while
So
now.
we've all been together for 4 years, and so we all know each other and our styles and this and that. And it just kind of like the lid blew off this week with people like, and I was like, finally, like, okay, we don't have to send
I was
people
like,
to people's houses to make sure that they're good.
get like wellness check. Like, you guys alive here? Like, you've been completely silent. And I told that like to multiple people. I'm like, why is it so quiet? But it began again.
Thank goodness. So,
Thank
two
goodness.
people you need to know. We have Josh and we have Cousin. And I just call him Cousin, even though that's not his real name. But
And if you're listening, you know who you are.
you know who you are. And these two are probably the greatest rivalry in sports. Like I am like this rivalry goes deep. Like these two just try to like get under each other's skin and it's literally like me like pulling out the popcorn and eating it every time they start in.
It's honestly what I look forward to in the chat, like during the week, especially when they play each other, which was terrible because they played each other week one and they were silent. I'm like, why are we starting off the season with a bang here? It should be like them against each other, like already like going at one another. And no, it was quiet. It just started this week.
It was crickets. But basically what happened was um Josh chimed in and was like, we need more IR spots because like his whole team is injured. And this kind of brings in a third party who we will talk about in a second. But all of it, like, so your husband, who's our commissioner, like put up a vote of like more IR spots. And most people, I actually didn't go back and look at what it was because I voted no. And then all of a sudden, my husband's like rage typing and didn't send it. And you and I are rage typing like on the side. But we were like, no. And then, of course, cousin comes in and is basically calling Josh's whole team like the elderly, like the nursing home team, which like was actually like I was like dying. But the third party, his name is Brett. This is his first year and he took over the worst team in our league. Like literally probably the worst team you've ever seen. I've seen people who just draft based on names or based on like looks have better teams than Brett has.
It's
Poor
like
Brett.
a tight end universe. It's tight end university on his team. I feel so
And we're not even a tight end league unless you want them for like
no.
just
And honestly, that's still going back to what tight ends would you really want to use?
not many. Not many in this
Not
league
many.
right now. It's not a
No,
tight end. The NFL is not a tight end league right now.
no, not at all.
So, um, so anyways, Brett is like struggling because we already have a very long bench. He has a terrible lineup, a long bench with like nobodies that are good. And now, and the issue with our keeper league is everyone is a hoarder. They are like legit hoarders. They will pick up somebody who had like one good game like 2 years ago just in case they pop off again. That style of hoarding.
It's so true. Or it's just the people that like they may or may not.
Mhm.
Because I know, I mean, that's a lot of the rookie draft anyway. It's like they may or may not go off, and we're fingers crossed that they will. But yes, we it's all quarters.
But even then, like, it's going to take Brett like years to get up to speed if it's just based on rookie drafting, because also he doesn't have any weapons that people want to trade for.
I know, and that's the biggest thing I think with these big dynasty leagues is like you're supposed to trade. Like, okay, well, what can you trade with? So like what is the solution here? It's not add more spots because that's just going to make our whole like available players just even worse than it already is. It's slim pickings. A Sabrina Carpenter song right now.
Yeah, it truly is. And like, so, anyways, Josh starts asking for IR spots. Cousin is like baiting him with things. Brett is chiming in with like, hey man, like, I don't think we need any more IR spots. Like, we need like some help out here. So it's just,
Need some players.
yeah, it ended up like I chimed in like here and there, but I like literally took a backseat and I was just, you and I were texting on the side too. But it's to the point of frustration, I think, in our league where one person is kind of hoarding a lot of people who were good maybe 4 years ago. And he had a great team 4 years ago. But now it's catching up to him because he's also the one person in the league who does not trade. I'm at least not with me. Maybe he puts in trades with other people, but
I'm sure. Nick and Cousin trade with everybody.
yeah.
They're like, it's open season. Which player would you like to like order off the menu? It costs this amount. And they're just like back and forth.
Yeah. And I think that's how it should be, especially if it's a fair trade. So the other piece is a lot of people in our keeper league want to win the trade all the time. And I don't know if that's like necessarily the way to go about it. You know, you don't always have to be the winner. And then it turns into something where if you are low on running backs, like many of us were last year, you're trading somebody really good for even just like a second rate running back because you need them so bad and you're so desperate. And so, that happens, but we don't want every single trade to be like that. Like you still want some equality of
Yeah.
trade.
It's like
So,
you need some balance, which is why there are tools like a keep trade cut. That's like a good one for like making sure like trades are fair and balanced, but
yeah.
use them.
Yeah. So it's been fun because people finally got chit chatty in the chat, and it was nice to kind of like sit back and just watch them like all bicker about should we add more spots? Should we not? Should you know, poor Brett has the worst team in fantasy history, and he's like, we are like all literally so empathetic to Brett because of it. So it was kind of fun, but also like, thoughts and prayers to Brett and his team because
I
like wow,
know. I
that's
think some solution. Honestly, maybe next and like honestly, we can't do anything right now because it's like mid-season,
terrible.
aka
We're
we're
already
still
in
early in the
season.
season. But like our league is a democracy. Everyone must vote. Our commissioner is tries to not say any particular sides, and he'll just be like, everything is up for a vote. I will not do anything unless the majority rules, which I think is the right way to do it. It's like majority rules. It's the smartest thing to do.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's our league. It's not just, one person's league. So
One person league.
yeah. And so yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things that I've voted yes or no for that have or have not passed. And it's been like the opposite of what I voted, and that's fine. But I've always
Personally.
appreciated that too, of just like
Yeah.
we're all going to vote.
It's the way it's for the people. It's what the people want.
It's for the people. So anyways, I just feel like that was like maybe the pregame to more shit talking and more to come for our league drama, especially as we'll talk about kind of today, how many injuries have happened that have just like, what is going on?
Oh,
What is
we
going
got lots to talk about today, guys. So buckle in. I hope you are ready.
So I guess that's a good segment. So we decided we needed a little bit more football chat just because, you know, this is a football podcast. This is a
Football
sports
podcast.
podcast. So
And
we are,
you're like, what about the other teams?
yeah, we have our favorite teams, but there are other teams as well. So we're going to kind of go through, and this segment is called On the Clock. So in this segment, we are trying to get the whole week in a little recap under 8 minutes because we got things to say, but we also want to bring you guys some football, some things that you guys can use in normal conversations with your friends, coworkers, whoever. So under 8 minutes. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start the clock, and Andrea, you are on the clock, and we're gonna go back and forth between each team of who's doing or what happened this week with their matchup. Um, and we've already kind of divvied it up into who gets to talk very briefly about which team.
All
So,
right, guys,
Andrea,
hold
we
on.
are on the clock.
All right, to start us off, we have the Bills versus Miami. Mike McDaniel, are you okay? I know you're on the verge of getting fired, but truly, are you okay? His direct quote in his post-game press conference was, if aliens came down to Earth and really observed things, they'd say we perform the most worthless, pointless function. And that is talking about his job. So is he high? That is the question. Also, James Cook, worth every penny. Love that. Moving on to the Bengals and the Vikings. Vikings defense. The Saints are already dead. What is the Simpsons meme of stop? They are already dead. I was on a plane. and they scored two defensive touchdowns while I was in the air. And this was a short flight from like Raleigh, from Charlotte to Raleigh. It's like a 24-minute flight, two defensive touchdowns. They really, Bengals, basically at the end of the day, they need a new QB. So should they get Jameis from an entertainment standpoint, it would be better than Browning. I'm so sorry, Browning, but Jameis, maybe it's Jameis Winston's time to come on back. And just, we're starting to think about Joe Burrow. Like, is Joe Burrow the new Andrew Luck? Like, is he gonna be okay?
Perfect.
I
Then
don't
we
know.
have the Rams versus Eagles. And what we learned this week is AJ Brown is still alive. He can still play football. Thank goodness. And everyone who has him on their fantasy team, thank goodness. The other piece that was really funny, in my opinion, was the NFL last week mentioned that they're going to crack down on the tush push, looking for any false starts, encroachments, etc., any penalties. And very first tush push, no penalties called because literally the Eagles are them and they got that down. And everyone is still trying to figure out how in the F.
Moving on to the Steelers and the Patriots. I don't have much to say except Demario Douglas. The game of football requires you to move forward and not backward. I think you know the rules of the game, but forward progress is the name of the game. It's not backwards progress to lose yards. That's all I honestly have to say about that.
And then we have my Panthers versus the Falcons. I have my Panthers shirt on because the Panthers finally won their first game of the season versus their divisional rivalry, the Falcons. The Panthers absolutely crushed it. They did not let the Falcons pass the Panthers' 30-yard line at all during the game, which is amazing, especially since the Panthers have a hard time holding anyone to anything. So let alone closing out the Falcons to a 0 point game. The other interesting thing is the Falcons cut their kicker, Young Wei Koo, whatever his name is, and their new kicker missed two field goals. So I don't know, was cutting Koo maybe not the right choice? I don't know, Falcons. And then we have the Texans and the Jaguars, and I don't have much to say around here except for the Texans are 0-3, which is really weird because what is going on? Like CJ Stroud is typically better than this. So is it the Texans? Is it CJ? What's going on? CJ, if you are not okay, please blink twice right now. Like you good? Okay, we're gonna leave it there.
Colts versus Titans. Once again, Daniel
Daniel
Jones.
Jones.
Was it the Giants? Was it a New York situation? Was it Dable? Because all I know is he's still here. They punted for like the first time. The punter realized he had a job. The Colts punter is like, "Oh, my name was called. I'm working. First time being called." So leave it at that. Also, Taylor's still alive. The running back game looking solid. The Titans, I honestly don't know what to say there.
I
So
don't think you have to say much there. Packers versus Browns. Are the Packers maybe like the actual worst team in the league? I don't know. But you let the Browns win. Like it literally, what is going on? The Browns defense showed up. They actually looked really good. If you had them in fantasy, like good for you. There were a lot of picks. It's working out for them. Basically, we have players who are like good players, but like maybe not like good people. I don't know what's going on. What is going on with the Packers, especially because the Browns?
one. Raiders and Commanders. Marcus Mariota is playing. Didn't expect that. Did not have that on my bingo card this year. But I will say Trey Tucker is probably going to be the person that everybody's going to be dropping all of their fantasy money on because he got 40 points in fantasy. 40 points. So, one question is it's going to continue? I think it's probably not going to. Very hot take. Bowers is their number one target, but he has a knee injury, so he has no lateral movement. So maybe this will not be repeated. But like I said, hot take. Jets versus Bucks. My interesting point from this game is the Jets are not sold on what quarterback So Tyrod might be back to stay. They're not sold between Tyrod and Fields. So once again, what year is it? Also, block field goal and a tight end to win the game. Honestly, the end is wild. I think they have some segment that I keep hearing is just like it's the witching hour or it's like where people who are winning lose and where people who are losing win. I don't know. I saw it on one of those channels.
That's red
No idea
zone.
what channel this game was on. Okay, well, it was Red Zone. Ashley knows it was Red Zone. Moving on to the Saints and the Seahawks. Once again, Seahawks. The Saints were already dead. Just stop hurting them. But the wild call out from this game was the Seahawks had two touchdowns before the 4:25 game started. So 15 minutes of real time, they scored two touchdowns. Also, all I hear in my household is JSN because it's Nick's love of his life. I just put LOML as like the Taylor song.
Perfect. And then we have the Broncos versus Chargers. So the Broncos lose for the second week in a row by a field goal to the Chargers after appearing to have the whole game on lock, which I live in Denver, and now the fans are calling for maybe Bo Nix to be benched, Sean Payton to be fired. So it's a typical overreaction by Broncos fans. But the Chargers actually might be kind of good. I don't know, hot take. And then we move on to the Cardinals versus the 49ers. Marvin Harrison Jr., are you okay? Also blink twice. Like, do you remember how to catch? Like, this is your job. I don't know if we remembered jobs. We've got to do them. We got to show up. And then a huge heartbreaker for the Cardinals. James Conner is out for the whole season. He needs to get surgery on his ankle. And that also sucks for the Cards because they are the team who uses the most wide receivers of any team or the least wide receivers of any team in this league. So now you've lost your biggest like running back. Like what's going to happen? We don't know. And then we move on to the Cowboys versus the Bears. And I don't know, that defense, both sides looked terrible, but Caleb looked kind of good. I don't know. Don't like maybe it was like a rare moment, but he looked kind of good. So basically, why are the Cowboys giving the ball on the run play to CeeDee and then he gets injured and hopefully, like I'm still waiting on the news, but hopefully he is back and healthy. We'll see because my fantasy team, one of them depends on him, and I'm sure some others.
Weird ankle out 3 weeks.
Oh, damn. So I will be also playing the waiver wire this week. And finally, we will tag this one together, the Chiefs versus the Giants, because you and I both did not watch this full game because one, you fell asleep, and two, I decided to watch something else. But
My
first half of
favorite
the game,
direct quote from the first half was from the announcers themselves was ugly first half, especially in the case of Mahomes.
and I will say also ugly first half because Russ was indeed not cooking. But I never can pronounce this guy's name, Scataboo, whatever,
Yeah.
Scataboo. He actually looked really great. My husband already was trying to like, get some trays and shit going on. Anyways, and then we had the aura farming with his backflip. I loved the dance. I love celebrations. Maybe we need to do another time like rating of our favorite celebrations because that would be amazing. So with that, we are stopping the clock. So we got 9:45. So we did not get our time. However, this was week one. We'll figure out how to trim the fat.
Well, tighten up also. Give us your thoughts. What are your opinions of the different games that you guys were watching? Like, let us know. Like, did we get it right? Did we get it wrong? Love to hear from you.
Yeah, let us
Oh,
know. We want to know.
what? We want to
Okay.
know.
So now that we are off the clock, let's get some tea going in our next segment, Fantasy. Um, okay. So the quarterback situation right now in the league. How are we feeling? Because I feel like a lot of quarterbacks are injured. If you have a quarterback, which you do if you're playing fantasy, you've likely already had to play the waiver wire. I had to pick up Aaron Rodgers in one of our leagues.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes is right because there was no one else. But we have like a lot of interesting starting quarterbacks now.
It just brings us to back in the day where we have Carson Wentz, Marcus Mariota, Tyrod Taylor. Obviously, we still have like, everyone else that was pre-COVID, like Lamar, Baker Mayfield, Russ is still there, but it's like just the first three.
Yeah.
Wentz, Mariota, Tyrod. What
What
year is it?
year is it? Like, did we all like get a flashback to pre-2020 with these type of quarterbacks? Because it is wild.
Are, is the planets in some weird? I mean, this is probably a question for people who are like, the God, oh
That's
my
their
God,
thing.
astrology. I was about to be like the sky people, the astrology,
The
the
sky
sky
people.
people, astrology people. Is the planets in like a weird place? Is like Pluto or Mars or something affecting us? Because there are a lot of injuries, and I just want to know, like, is there a
Yeah.
reason?
Yeah. Is Mercury and Gatorade or what is happening? Because it seems like there's injuries going on, and it's not just quarterback. I mean, quarterbacks have definitely taken a huge hit this year, but like, I don't know, like, like we were talking about with some people in our league wanting more IR spots. It's just crazy how many big names are out for the rest of the season or even just for like a few games because of an injury.
It
So,
felt early. It feels early too for injuries.
especially as many as there are, because like even the quarterback situation, like this has been the week where I'm like, wow, everyone's trying to get a quarterback and it's week 3. Like what?
And usually everyone has a backup, but like
The
some
backup
people's
were hurt.
backups are injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, the backups are. I was like, my backup is hurt. Like I have Brock Purdy. He's out. So
Yeah. Yeah. Or they're just not good backups because I have the Titans quarterback. And that's not a good option right now.
not a good option. I mean, hey, I guess we'll stay tuned to see if Jameis Winston comes into the picture and gets signed.
Get
Then
Jameis
we're
in.
wow.
Suit up, Jameis. We need you. I
No,
honestly would be a full supporter of Jameis Winston, like starting anywhere.
coming back.
Yeah.
That would be so entertaining.
So he's,
Speaking of entertaining,
oh,
yeah. Speaking of entertaining, we have this year's Tyreek Hill for the for the reproductive version.
we have our first Tyreek Hill of the season.
Um, so Cardi B is pregnant. Love that for her. Learned it's her fourth kid. Didn't realize she had that many, if I'm being completely honest.
I didn't know she had any actually.
I knew she had two. I didn't know about the third. I knew also kind of forgot that she split from Offset. So also kind of forgot that. But Stefon Diggs. And he's waiting on that paternity test, or did he get the paternity test results?
I actually don't know where they are in that. I didn't even realize they were still together because last I heard, he was like saying things about how her BBL smells like trash. So like you're gonna have a baby with this man who like is like dissing your BBL. Like, I don't know. Maybe not
I
that.
also didn't know they were together either. And then all of a sudden, she's like, I'm preggers. And then another woman comes out there and be like, we just had a kid. I'm like, who?
So my whole thing, like Stefon Diggs is on our keeper league on my team. And he was my first pick when we started the league 4 years ago. So again, we go back to like 4 years ago, there are players who were absolutely crushing it. And now 4 years later, they could be anywhere, like Stefon Diggs. Um, and I look at players like Stefon Diggs and the sloppiness in their personal life. And then I also look at how they do on the field. And I'm like, there's definitely a correlation here of you just need to lock it up and maybe focus a little bit in
Lock
your
it up, wrap it
relationship
up.
and on the field. Like just focus.
It's getting messy.
Yeah. So I'm not a proud Stefon Diggs player owner on a fantasy team. And I actually did try to
Maybe
pick him last year and nobody wanted him. So, which he also got injured, but whatever.
it's just gonna. live on the bench.
He's taking up a spot on my bench. Maybe I'll offer him to Brett. You want him like for free at this point?
Free, just give him a good home.
Just treat him
Does
well.
he
Make sure he
treat him well? Make sure he
water.
doesn't impregnate someone else.
Don't let him harm Cardi. I need her to come out with still like she also just came out with a new album. So like I need her to still be coming out with some good music, okay? Don't allow this nonsense. So Brett, if you can make that promise, he's all yours for free.
We'll know if he listens to our podcast.
No, we will see if that
We
is
will.
so. All right, let's talk about our waiver wire crushes of the week. I think we
Yeah,
both have two, or
two.
yeah, we both have two.
Yes.
That's how math works, is two. Four total.
Two plus two is four. We weren't in math. We don't do math for a living. It's
Math is
fine.
hard.
Math is hard. I'll kick us off. So I'm just gonna say, if you are picking up a defense every single week, my recommendation: choose any defense playing the Saints and the Jets,
Mhm.
because the Jets, with or without Fields, is gonna get you points, whether it's Tyrod, whether it's Fields. The Jets are gonna be a safe bet, and the Saints are the Saints. So that's my recommendation: is picking up any defense playing either the Saints or the Jets.
My first one is Jalen Tolbert. If you had CeeDee Lamb, you definitely should pick up Jalen Tolbert. He actually had a good week after CD left. But now that we know, because you've confirmed for me that it's about 3 weeks,
Mhm.
now that we've confirmed that CD will be out for a couple weeks, Jalen Tolbert will be a good pickup.
And then speaking of, because of injuries, to people like James Conner, pick up Trey Benson. He was already starting to get a little bit more coverage this year, and James Conner had come out saying that he wanted Trey Benson to get more carries, but now he's the guy on the cards, and you guys now know that the Cardinals don't play their wide receivers often. So if Trey Benson's available, I strongly advise
Mhm.
paying a lot for him and grabbing him because it's an instant starter.
Mhm. And then if you are struggling with quarterback woes, Geno Smith, he's doing okay. Like, listen, we are diving deep in there to find a good quarterback for you. Geno Smith, though, like, give him a shot. Like we have a lot of number one QBs who are out. We also have a lot of teams shuffling around QB. Pick up Geno Smith. Try it out.
Now is not the time to be picky. If you need someone, one
Even a
option.
few weeks, even just a couple weeks until your QB1 comes back. That's the one. Pick him up. So that is all we have today for Not Your Man's Sports Podcast. So let us know how your team did in real life or your fantasy team, and then share us with all your other baddie friends.
And week 3, the QB panic is real, but so are the comebacks. Make those waiver wire picks. Bye, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Bye.